Hey guys, it's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. So, the sun's not really either out yet, or at least it's getting covered by the clouds or something. So, the video looks pretty okay. You know, it's not, the sun's not blaring in through the window and blinding the viewers. So, here and there, I've been talking about wrestling, and I just wanted to go over a couple things I've watched lately, and you know, give my opinions. So, I watched the Royal Rumble. I thought the women's match was pretty good, and I just felt a couple things. I thought the women's match was pretty good, but a lot of the people that were like surprise entrants, I didn't really know well, because I was an ECW guy, then I watched WCW and ECW, and then when they got bought out, I got pissed off, so I didn't watch any WWF at that point in between at all. Or even during the WCW, WWF like fight, when it was Monday Night Wars, I never really watched WWF. So, some of these names I know, but I never really saw them, wrestle or whatnot. So watching them, I was like, okay, I know of them, but they're not like, wow, so-and-so came back. You know, it just didn't mean much to me. I knew Tori Wilson because of WCW, obviously. She had a really bad stint in WCW. I knew, what's her name? Michelle McCool, because I know she's married to The Undertaker. I didn't even know what she looked like before she came out. I thought the ending was pretty good. I thought that they, like, did a lot of slow pacing, you know, laying around, waiting on the outside. I think Nia Jax was out of the match for, like, half of it. You know, she was outside on the floor for, like, 15 minutes. So, it was pretty good. I thought the Men's Royal Rumble was pretty good. Didn't have as many surprise entrants, but the people they did have that were from like NXT, I like some of them. I like Adam Cole. I don't know a ton about him. I know when he was in Bullet Club, I remember him a little bit. But yeah, like, you know, it was cool. It wasn't like amazing, but I thought it was a pretty good show overall. I thought Braun Strowman was going to beat Brock Lesnar, but I also don't follow the trends of like, oh, well, this is going to happen, so that's going to happen next. You know, I just kind of watch and try and have a good time. I thought the Ronda Rousey thing was okay, but she was very awkward. At the end of the show, she came out and pointed at the WrestleMania sign like 15 times. Or at least it felt like 15 times. It felt like she was just standing there for like minutes. It was just awkward and kind of weird. She came out with Rowdy Piper's jacket and his like logo on her shirt, but it said, I think it said Rowdy Ronda. And supposedly his son, I think they said, gave it to Ronda Rousey. I guess he's friends with her or something, so he gave her the father's jacket and she wore it to the ring. I thought it kind of took away from Asuka's win from the Royal Rumble. I thought that, you know, her winning was cool. I always liked her. I thought she was pretty good. I do feel like they tend to tone down their wrestlers. So, speaking of toning down, Shinsuke Nakamura is one of my favorites. I really, really liked him in New Japan. I still like him, but he's very watered down compared to what he was. His strong style isn't strong any longer. He doesn't hit as hard. He doesn't do as many cool moves. He's really watered down. It's why I never want Kenny Omega to go there, because I feel like they'll just water him down. Even if you watch Chris Jericho versus Kenny Omega, which was amazing, I thought it was a great, great match with him and Kenny Omega. You'll see Jericho pulls out all the stops in New Japan. Doesn't do half of what he did when he wrestled in WWE. It seems like New Japan just said, listen, don't hurt yourself, but do what the hell you want. In fucking potholes. In WWE, they seem to really put, I guess, limitations on their wrestlers to not get hurt and not do certain moves or whatnot. So I highly recommend you check out the Omega vs. Jericho match if you can, because that was really good. Great mix of like wrestling storytelling, hardcore, you know, agile moves where people like flipping around. It was really, really cool. Great event. I'm trying to think of what else. So the Royal Rumble was pretty good. I thought, you know, Sasha Banks, man, she is so bad. First off, I know everyone pokes fun at me in my circle of friends. I think Charlotte Flair's pretty. She kind of has a classy look in a way, if you ask me. People say she looks like a man or looks just like her dad or whatever. I don't... I see a little bit, but she doesn't look like a spitting image of her dad to me, so whatever. Which is funny because I'm not a fan of her dad's work. So, Sasha Banks I find completely, like, just off-putting. Look-wise, you know, she's strange-looking to me. Her wrestling is just sloppy. She did something the other day where she jumped out of the ring and her feet caught the ropes and she, like, fell, and it just looked completely like a botch. I don't know if she meant to do that because she was getting kicked in the head at the time, so she wanted to, like, make it look like she fell. But it looked like she completely effed up. And then she was in the Royal Rumble and she was kicking Lita. That's another one of my gripes. She was kicking Lita and she was about this far from her. So Lita sold the first one like she got hit and then just stood there in the corner because she wasn't even touching her. Like, you could see on camera she's not touching her. So I guess she didn't think the camera was going to be on her at that moment because it was kind of like in the corner and off to the side. But it looked so bad. Like, and it wasn't like one kick, it was like 4. So Sasha, like, really needs to clean up what she does and, like, fine-tune herself because she's just not... I don't know, something about her, she's just really sloppy to me. I think she goes in with her persona and her matches just sometimes are lacking in that regard. So, Lita, who I've never been a fan of, supposedly used to trade sexual favors in Mexico for wrestling training. That's what I heard. Doesn't have to be true. She also was with Matt Hardy for years. They were an item. And she cheated on him, supposedly, and left him for Edge. And then they made it into a storyline on TV. She comes out wearing a belt buckle that says, "Time's up." First off, I don't want your politics, identity politics, feminism, whatever, you know, in wrestling. It's like the last place I want to look at more crap like that. The TV is inundated with it. The internet is inundated with it. The last thing I want is to shut my brain off and watch wrestling for an hour or 2 hours and see some moron come out with some anti-Republican, anti-Trump, anti-Democrat, anti-Bernie Sanders, I don't care. I don't want to see it. I don't care about any of it anymore. I have my own personal opinions, but I felt like it was totally not the time and place. And she isn't the moral pillar of society at all for what she used to do and how she used to be to try and profess to anyone that they shouldn't, do whatever. Lots of these, if you ask me, lots of these guys that are being thrown under the bus in, like, sexual harassment cases, some of them are probably scumbags. Some of them probably did do crazy shit, like pull their schlongs out and start, jerking off in front of people or whatever. They should be held accountable. But it's like war on men, where, like, someone can't say, "Oh, you look nice today," or "Wow, you have pretty eyes," or whatever, or just try and whatever. Maybe you're in a bar and you hit on something, and that is considered sexual. What is everything sexual harassment? It's like, please, Lita, go fuck yourself. You went out there to grandstand with your stupid belt when you were a piece of shit like 15 years ago, but what, people forgot about it now, or because you didn't sexually harass someone? Maybe you did. That it doesn't matter. What if a girl does it to a guy? What if she's, like, groping at a guy, or she's drunk and she's saying really inappropriate shit? That's happened to me before, where women catch me off guard and they start saying really, like, nasty shit to me they want to do. It's uncomfortable, but it's words. You fucking move on. So, whatever. Point being, I felt like it was not the right stage for it. I don't feel like the Grammys and everything else were the right stage for it either. You have idiots like Miley Cyrus walking out with a white rose and a black dress on, and she's going on about how women should be treated equal. You can vote. Women all around where I work make way more than men. So maybe on the whole you could say some don't, some do. Where's the line? I don't know. And Miley Cyrus takes nude photo shoots with guys that, like, spread open her butt cheeks and wears, like, dildos and shit on stage, and she does crazy shit, and she's the one to wear... I'm just going off on a tangent now. It's just so dumb. So this video is completely derailed. I may not even put it up. So overall, I thought the Royal Rumble was okay, pretty good, on the better side of things. besides sloppy Sasha, Asuka's moment being taken away by Ronda Rousey, and Lita's bullshit grandstanding. This is my moment to make a statement. I'm surprised they even let her do it. They must not have known. I don't think that they realized, or maybe she put the belt on before she walked out, but I don't know. So then I've been watching, and my favorite thing is New Japan Pro Wrestling. So I've been watching, Wrestle Kingdom 12, is it? That was, like I said, an amazing match with Jericho. The whole card is great. You could even watch the bad matches, and they're still good and way better, in my opinion, than WWE does any day of the week. Anything with Okada is good. Michael Elgin, Kenny Omega, Naito. There's a lot of great guys, and they're doing excellent work. I thought the way they told the story with Jericho versus Omega beforehand, and they got into a fight at like an interview, and some of the things they did in the match. I even showed my dad the match, and he was like, wow, that was really cool. And he's not really a wrestling guy. He just thought it was good. So then I watched, what was it called? I watched New Year's Dash, which was pretty good, but I think everyone was kind of still reeling from Wrestle Kingdom, so they were like a little on the tired side. But overall, it was a good show. Even the lower shows for New Japan aren't bad. They're just not as good as some of the bigger shows. And then I watched, I can't remember the name. Is it Another Night in Sapporo or something Sapporo? And spoiler alert, I guess if you haven't watched it, that was good, but so much happened. Kenny Omega lost the United States Championship to Jay White, which I don't like Jay White. I think he's a pretty good wrestler. I don't like his look. I don't know. Something about him kind of annoys me. So he needs to grow on me a bit more, but he lost his belt to him, which was disappointing. Cody Rhodes and Kenny Omega got into an argument in the ring, and the Young Bucks sort of like stepped away from it. Marty Scurll stepped away from it, and Hangman Page took Cody's side. And then Cody did a move on Kenny in the ring and tried to kick his ass, and Kota Ibushi came out, who's Kenny's old tag team partner, and they reconciled, and he helped Kenny not get his ass kicked. So that was interesting. I wasn't around, or at least watching as prevalently during the Golden Lovers era of Omega and Ibushi, so I don't know the backstory, but suppose this is like a really big deal that these guys that have been apart for so long are now back together. Kenny Omega has always come off as flamboyant to me. I think personally he's gay, so I think he's playing it up with the whole Golden Lovers angle. Doesn't matter. I think he's friggin' amazing. I think he's my favorite wrestler by far. I don't care what people do in their bedroom. So I think they played it up with the Golden Lovers angle. I think it was like a sort of, sexual type of angle where these two guys were supposedly intimate and supposedly dating and also wrestling together. So I'm interested to see how this goes. Are they going to make Kenny Omega a tag team guy? Are they going to make them single wrestlers who have each other's backs? Are they going to grab the Young Bucks and the Elite is going to break off from the Bullet Club and Ibushi's going to join the Elite with the Young Bucks and Omega? And Skrull, perhaps? Or is Omega going to eventually turn on Ibushi and go back to Bullet Club and be a bad guy? Is he going to be a complete face and stay with Ibushi? I don't know. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic. I was kind of caught off guard by him losing the title, and caught off guard with him breaking off from the Bullet Club and Cody, beating him up in the ring and sort of throwing him out, I would say. I think Cody's taking over. But you've seen it coming for a while where Cody Rhodes and Omega have been butting heads with their styles of how they want things to work. And I think that would be a really, really good match with Cody and Omega. So I'm looking forward to that. It would be sad to see him not in the Bullet Club, because I like the Bullet Club a lot. But it's a storyline. It is what it is, And they don't, as long as they don't go off into this whole soap opera crap like WWE does, where they have half the show of talking and like no wrestling, that's fine. I don't mind a little bit of, dialogue or a little bit of storytelling within, limited constraints. Trying to think what else. I know everyone's looking really forward to Suzuki versus Maccabee and Togi Maccabee, and I am too. I think that's a cool kind of more, I don't want to use the word hardcore, but harder hitting type of match. You know, since Suzuki came from an MMA background, and Maccabee has more, again, of like a hard hitting style. They're not as like agile. They're a little older, so I think they tend to go more towards the strikes and, you know, the crazier stuff. I think that's going to be really interesting, and I'm looking forward to that. I know War Machine left and went to NXT. I thought they were good. I did like the look of War Machine. I thought they were good in the ring. They were very agile for big guys. I also felt like they were very out of shape, at least the one guy that was heavier. I always mix up their names. So I would only assume WWE is going to try and get him to lose a little weight. But who knows? Maybe not. I mean, they have people out there like Nia Jax, who they've supposedly told to lose a little weight, but she's still pretty heavy. There's another person that comes to mind that I can't, like Samoa Joe. He's always been overweight. So I don't know. I'm not really sure how they're going to approach it, but whatever. I mean, I find it astounding that some of these big guys are so agile. They can do flips and stuff that are like 300 pounds. That's just crazy. I mean, I can't do a flip, and I'm only like 190, 195. So yeah, overall, that's pretty much where I'm at. I expect Ronda Rousey to probably fight Charlotte, and Asuka to fight Alexa Bliss and probably win the belt, because Alexa's had it a while. I like her. I think she's pretty good. I think she's got a good look. I like Charlotte a lot. I think she's very agile for a tall woman, and she always looks a little, what's the word? You know, meaty in a way. So I think for her agility, I'm shocked she can do like moonsaults and stuff. Speaking of moonsaults, you know what time's up on, Lita? You're wrestling, because that frigging moonsault you did, you almost broke your neck. She was really like slow, and she looked very uncomfortable and awkward when she wrestled, Lita. Some of the other women who came back, I thought were way better for not having been in the ring for a while. Like Trish Stratus, I thought didn't really miss much of a step. So, so that's what I think will happen in WWE. I don't really watch WWE anymore. I'll tune into the pay-per-views if they're on, and even that, sometimes I'll only watch like an hour or two. I usually get kind of fed up with the wrestling, and the storytelling is just retarded. I can't get into the crazy stories and like these dumb vignettes and talking. I don't want to see soap operas. I want to just see wrestling. And I've always said that the past few years, which is why I like New Japan so much. It's just wrestling and like a tiny bit of like in the ring dynamic. And it's like, oh, well, you could tell this guy hates this guy because of that. Like, that's enough for me. Or they'll have like a UFC type interview, and then they'll argue with each other for a moment. But it's never like this huge part of the show. And I like that. Tell the story in the ring. Show how you hate each other and want to take each other apart. Not how, you know, this one's dating this one and you're jealous, because it's just, I don't care. It's just dumb. So, guys, sorry about those tangents there, but besides that, let me know what you think of the Royal Rumble, Wrestle Kingdom 12, and Sapporo, Kenny Omega breaking off, going back with Ibushi, Ronda Rousey, all of it. Let me know what you think. If you want to talk about Miley Cyrus, I guess you can, but I'd rather you not. Thanks, guys, for watching. It's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. Be good.